Stitching May to do an update, finally. As you guys know, this video is going to be about cross stitch, so if that's what you're here for, welcome. If not, you're probably not going to like the video. Welcome back if you're a returning viewer, and welcome for the first time if you're new to my channel. I don't have a lot of organization. I've done these videos for a while, and it's still kind of off the cuff every time. I don't have a script or anything, so enjoy the ride, maybe? So it's been several weeks since my last video. I have no excuse. The last video I told you it was going to be short, and it was very long. I told you that I would be back in 2 weeks. It's been several weeks, so I'm not going to make any predictions. It could be a long video. It could be a short video. My goal is to be back every 2 weeks at least, but we'll see. I do have 2 new starts, a finish, some plans, some haul, and some progress to show you. So grab your stitching and a drink and sit down and let's enjoy our time together. Life is the only excuse I have, and it's nothing in particular. Just kind of readjusting to school. You know, my son is back in school. He's doing piano lessons and we're doing homework. And then just getting that balanced out. And then I mentioned in January that my mother-in-law had a tumor on her brain, not in her brain. And that's big, that it's not in the brain tissue. It's just kind of on the brain tissue. And it's been being monitored. It turned out that it grew a little bit. And they're going to have to do surgery. So we have been helping her kind of navigate the appointment. She's doing it all, but we're kind of helping her like answer questions and ask questions and that kind of stuff. So that's been kind of added in as well. Guys, my dog is trying to actively come in the door, so you may hear my door squeak. I'm not starting over. This is like my 3rd, 15th attempt to do the video. He started barking in the middle of one, and then I got a call from the school from another one. They thought my son had been stung and that he had hives. He's like me, he's pale, and he got hot on the playground. Like, I walked in, he had sweat pouring off of him. And his skin was red, but he gets red when he gets hot, and his legs are splotchy, but that happens when he's in the grass. I almost think he has a mild grass allergy. I don't know, yeah, you can be allergic to grass. Yes, I know, Lori. Get an allergist. We're probably going to end up having to do so. But they were concerned. They wanted to make sure he wasn't having an allergic reaction to a sting. He wasn't. But I said, hey, let's go home. We'll give you some Benadryl just to be safe. He wanted to stay at school. So either that's bragging about our school and that he's really loving being back in school. Science is his next class and he loves science. Or I'm just a horrible mom. I'm going to say that it's because of science, and he absolutely loves science. So, anyway, on to the cross stitch, which is why you're here. I don't have the before photos because I've not been doing the prompts. I'm going to try to get back into doing the prompts. Myth and Magical Stitches is doing a new activity. I'm still going to be a villager because being in a clan is too much of a commitment for me. And I'm going to be stitching pebbles for them. So hopefully that'll get my stitching going. It's not that it hasn't been going, it's just not consistent. I need some consistency in my life right now. It's 2020, what is consistency? Anyway, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the current whip that I'm working on. And that comes from this Better Homes and Gardens, a cross stitch Christmas. This one is called Christmas in Stitch Celebrations in Stitches. And this project is called Lo How a Rose. It is charted by Design Bright Needle. Right? No? That's that one. Nope, that's it. Bright Needle, I guess. This is what it will look like when it's finished. I started this one thanks to, I'm going to just like start calling people out. This is Diana is Kismet Stitch's fault. She did this last year as her Kismet in July Sow. I started it and have not finished it yet. It is charted for in the called for DMC. It's got Anchor and other brands as well, but I'm doing it in DMC. And it's on, I think this is some of the Irish linen, Irish tea-dyed linen that you can get like at Michael's. Michael's. I worked on this flower right here, and then this is kind of like a vine with flowers on it. That's what I worked on, only for about 2 days. But that's the progress on that one. I'm kind of worried that you can't see. Well, you can't see because it's not showing. There's one color that kind of blends and I'm a little worried about, but I'm going to keep going with it and see what happens. I can see it, but I know it's there. I'm going to ask my husband and see what he thinks. So there that is. My finish was this Pineberry Lane piece called Fancy Blacket. I finished this in a car dealership getting my husband's oil changed in his car for him. And I didn't get any weird looks. People didn't care that I was stitching in front of them. Where is it? Here it is. This is stitched on a piece of linen that I dyed myself. It was a Swigert. I want to say, yes, it was platinum. And I over dyed it with tan Rit dye. And there's my finished piece. I have no clue how I'm going to fully finish this. This is passed to me by Ellen. And it's already going to its next person on the list. It's a pass the stash whip that will keep getting passed and passed and passed. Fancy is a nomad. How about that? See, I'll continue on with whips. I worked some more on my, I realize I feel like I'm flying through the video, and I do that. I talk a lot about life slow, and then I get to the cross stitch, and I feel like I fly through it, so. The next piece I worked on is a freebie from Modern Folk Embroidery. It's called Let's Be Kind. So theirs is stitched in red. It is a monochrome piece, or they designed it as that. You can do whatever you want. I chose to do this in Color and Cotton's Goblin, which is a beautiful blue and green color. However, I'm going to have to order some more because that's all I have left, and I have much more stitching than that left. She did warn me that her dies have changed since her last dye lot, and I talked to Emily, and she has one of these, and if mine is way off, we're going to trade, so that she'll keep a goblin, but this one may be closer to my dye lot. If it's that big of a difference. It may not be that big of a difference. All that I had before was the word let and kind in the box. I've now finished the S and the B, and then the entire top section of motifs. You cannot tell this, and I will not show you, but this is off a little bit, and in order to fix it, I was going to pretty much have to start over, and it just was not worth that to me. So I'm not starting over. I'm just stitching this as it is. And that is it for progress on current whips. Now I have 2 new starts to show you. The first one that I'm going to show you is the, let me put this in here so I don't lose that little bitty part of floss. Honestly, I've probably lost some of this floss. I'm bad at like leaving pieces of floss places. Ask my poor husband, he will tell you. This is Yellow Submarine by Blackbird Designs. I'll insert a picture of what it will look like when it's finished here. I am stitching this on 28 count Nicks by Under the Sea Fabrics. This is charted in, I want to say, Classic Colorworks. Let me look and see. Gentle Arts. I decided to stitch mine in an array of coloring cottons that Emily helped me, like I picked out a bunch of them that I thought, and then Emily helped me kind of settle down on the last ones, like on the final ones. I started this for my husband because he wants me to finish all the Beatles ones for him and him to hang them in his music area. I myself would have probably done Strawberry Fields Forever next because I'm in a sampler thing kick lately. But he chose Yellow Submarine. It would have probably been my last one because that big Yellow Submarine. But I guess if I get it out of the way, I'll enjoy the others, right? Right? That's how that works. So I had to kind of reverse this because this was stitched on a lighter fabric and the border was darker, but I decided to stitch this on this darker fabric, so I did the border a little bit lighter. This is in Sea Spray by Coloring Cotton, and I'm a little more than halfway done with the border. I think it will go about there, which I know this is a huge piece of fabric and I can cut it off because I did the smart thing this time, unlike I did with my Merry Christmas, and start in the middle and waste a ton of fabric. I started on the side. That way, anything that I can finish with, I can just cut it off and be done and have extra. Maybe for some ornaments. I don't think it'll be enough for another project. There that one is. So, next is my next new start. That was awkward. I actually started this other one first, but I did this in this order so that I could show you this that is also haul. Emily C and I got together and we had lunch, and she gifted me this beautiful, beautiful project bag. Guys, I know she showed a picture of it in her video, but the picture doesn't do it justice. It's patchworked. And so the story is, what had happened was she emailed me a similar bag. Really long story short, it was in the mailbox. Like, I checked the mail apparently before the mail ran, and they delivered it one day, and then the next day they claim that the flag was up and they picked up the same package, even though it had my address as the recipient and I had not written return on it to return to her. It's still not with her, and it's not with me, and it's not in my local post office. I've gone through all, thanks to the wonderful Mischievous Stitches help. She gave me some links, and she even emailed, and they still cannot find the package. I'm heartbroken. But then Emily, the wonderful, generous, gracious, amazing person she is, made a second bag and gifted this to me when we had lunch together earlier last month. And guys, it's amazing. We realized, she pointed out that these look like little coronaviruses. This is like a birthday / Corona's changed her job and it sucks. Bag. But it's got little coronaviruses on it. See, there's that one. She didn't even realize it. She's like, they kind of look like coronaviruses. So I will always look at this bag and remember 2020. And this will make it fun. It's got this beautiful dark blue and turquoise polka dots. And then this amazing little flowery on the inside that are beautiful. Cannot brag enough. The start that I decided to put in this for now is Needles Dance. It's a collaboration. I say for now because I always end up changing my bags out as I want to. This one will probably stay until it's done. I'll insert what this will look like when it's finished here. It's Needles Dance. It's a collaboration between Ink Circles, Summer House Stitchworks, and Hands On Designs, which, guys, you can't go wrong with them. I purchased this as the kit. I got it off either Stash and Load or eBay. You can still purchase the pattern itself, but I don't think you can purchase the kit anymore. The kit, of course, came with fabric, floss, and a needle minder. Fabric, floss, needle minder, needle, and this little floss card. So there's the floss card that it came with. Here is the little needle minder. And then this is my progress. Guys, my border lined up the first time. Let me put this behind here so it shows through. I cannot brag enough. I love this. I love this fabric. It is not as wider, I don't think. Witchel fabric. In Blue Moon. 32 count Blue Moon by Witchel. And I'm one that I like Witchel fabric. I know some people say it's too stiff, but I really do like it. But there, I guess. Let me move this and see if it won't quit. There we go. Now you can see that better. Loving this. Loving this. And I felt like the colors matched the bag perfectly. So I chose that bag. It's got several colors. It's got Nature Trail. These are all classic color works. Nature's Trail. Rose Petal, which is a very soft pink. Hazelnut. I should have shown you the colors on. If you want to see the colors that I'm using for not Octopus Garden, Yellow Submarine, let me know and I'll show you the individual colors. I'm not going to point out where everything is, but I'll show you the colors in case you're curious. Sunset. Deep Fennel. And that's it. These are the little cards that I use. It's a very thick index card that I get off Amazon. And then I put them in here and it helps make the bag stiff. And I put the color and then the color number. If it is one that, like for Yellow Submarine, I label the color that it's supposed to be rather than the color that it is. And usually, of all the ones I didn't, I also put the color that it really is. So the called for color was Avocado, but I used Elf instead. And then like the called for color was Lexington Green, and I used Colored Cotton's Fern. So again, if you want me to go all the way through those colors, I'll be glad to. And that's it for new starts. Haul, I only got some fabric because I'm a horrible person and keep buying fabric. Not a horrible person, but you know. This is all purchased with some sales that are coming up, and then I didn't use them yet. The first one that I got off eBay. This piece was super, super, super cheap. I knew when I purchased it I was taking a risk. It is just, oh, I gotta show that too. It is just a kind of plain beige linen. It's a 36 count linen. However, when I received this, I got it, and it's not an it's a very, very tight 36 count. Come on, camera, focus. A very, very tight 36 count, and it just, I don't know. It doesn't look like it's going to be easy to stitch on, and the piece that I'm looking for fabric for is a big piece. And I didn't want to commit to a large piece on this. So then I sat down and I counted it out. And it turns out that this is not an even linen. Most of the time with linen, even though it has slubs, when you count it out, it's still 36 count one way and 36 count the other. This one does not do that. It's like 36 count one way and then like 40 count another. Or 38 count another. I don't remember the exact numbers. So I did not choose this one for that. I will keep this and do some ornaments or maybe another small on it. Maybe cut it up some. I mean, it's fine linen. It's just not what I wanted for that piece. The next one that I got is another 36 count. I have this one picked out for a sale for later. That'll be another video. And it's this beautiful brown color. This is a Witchelt fabric. I don't know the name. They called it tan brown. That's not the name of it. I'm sure I could find out the exact name of it. One of you probably already know the name of it just by looking at it. It is about the same color as 611. Hey, how about that? But there that is. Nothing fancy. It's a solid color. And then I also got this piece of 36 count flax that will go into my stash. Guys, I got a good deal on this one too, and this one is Weigert. I've become a 36 count lover, stitcher, whatever the appropriate term for that is. I did have to put a dryer sheet in this brown one. It's a little musty. It doesn't stink by any means, but you could tell it was stored. And I'm really sensitive to smells. Believe it or not, I'm a nurse that's sensitive to smells. And then I was gifted through Emily, and I don't know if I have permission to share the person's name, so I'm not gonna. This beautiful ornament, cross-stitched ornament. Can you see the detail on that? Thank you. You know who you are. Thank you so much for this ornament. It's very much appreciated. I'm keeping it out until Christmas. I'm gonna hang it up on my little board back here until Christmas, and then it will go on our Christmas tree. Guys, that color, that turquoise, can you see that color? Oh, it's so pretty. So pretty. Emily got one too. Now, plans. I've decided that this is the year of not saying no to cross stitch. I just keep starting everything, and I continue to be enabled to start more, and it is what it is. I'm not ashamed. It'll eventually get done. What's the difference in it sitting on my shelf languishing versus having a few stitches in it in my whip pile, right? Not a big difference. Either way, it's still in my stash. This way, at least it started. And that's what I tell myself. And I may not pick it up for a long time. Starry Night and Daisies in a Vase and my Chatelaine mandalas. And but it's still getting love. The first one that I will start will be with Emily and Dana Becks from Instagram. This is charted by Cherry Hill Stitchery. It is called Saltbox Neighborhood. So this is the perfect piece if you have some scrap fabric that you don't know what to do with. Because on 32 count, it's 196 wide by 50 high. So on 32 count over 2, the finished design measures 12 5/8 by 3 1/8. So you need a long, skinny piece of fabric. And that's usually what you end up with, like when you start in the corner, like I did on, I keep wanting to call it Octopus Garden. So, Yellow Submarine. I sang that song for a week when I worked on it. I don't know why I can't say it now. Every time I work on one of the Beatles songs, the song just plays in my head. But you end up with a long, smaller pieces of fabric. And this is perfect. Perfect for that. It calls for DMC, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 DMCs. The pattern was less than $10, less than $7 on Etsy. I'll drop a link to it below if you're interested in starting it. Jump along with us. We are starting it today, but you can jump on anytime. I'm stitching it in the called for DMC. And it's on this scrap of fabric that I had from LJ, Fabrics by LJ. I said it last time I talked about one of his fabrics. I miss his fabrics so much. I love his fabrics. I have them stashed. And I miss them so much. This one I chose because there was a little spot right in the middle. And it happened perfect that I could cut this piece off and use it for my sal and still have another piece of fabric large enough for another medium sized piece. Pardon me. I don't remember the colorway of this one. Is it gonna show up? It may not. There it goes. It's a light brownish green, think of a, you know how they're those green cargo pants, or aren't, you know, that army green, that light army green that they call khaki, but it's not your typical khaki color. That's about the color of these splotches. And I just felt that was perfect, and it was the perfect size, so there that is. And then on Saturday, because I'm off on Saturday, pardon me, itchy throat. Allergy season. Is one that I'm starting with the wonderful Vic Gable. It's a virtual Stitchers sal. We're starting on September the 6th because it is called Pilgrims of Plymouth. This you can find on Etsy as well. It is by Twin Peak. I'm sorry, it is not on Etsy. It is on twinpeakprimitives.com. This is what it will look like when it's finished. It calls for DMC except for one. Is this the one that has the one? No. I think it's this one that's got the one hand eye that I just chose to use the DMC for. Yes. Cherry Hill Stitchery calls for one Big Sty Works called Deep Sea. But I'm just using the DMC. She has a conversion on it and I'm using that one. This one calls for DMC only. And we'll be starting this on Saturday. I'm off. I've taken a few Saturdays off so that I can do some stuff with my son on the weekends, because when I'm off, he's at work. Try that again. When I'm off of work, he is in school. And then when I'm at work, he is off of school. And he's not been seeing a lot of his friends since March. And now that they're back in school, we're doing some outdoor activities with some of his friends. So, like I said, I decided not to tell you if this video is going to be long or short. And it ended up being longer, and my camera cut off on me. But what I was saying is that, you know, he's not seen a lot of his friends since March. now that school's back in, things are kind of opening back up. Some of us are getting together and doing some outdoor activities. Like a weekend or so ago, we went tubing in Helen. So I've been taking some Saturdays off so we can go and do some outside things before the weather changes and it gets too cold to do the stuff or too wet to do the stuff. And then to where I can be available and see him a little more. Because I kind of got used to seeing him a lot this year. I am stitching this, like I said, in the called for DNC in this wonderful scrap of 20 count vintage country mocha. So I was discussing with Emily which piece to use. I started out talking to Vic about which one to use. And then I was also talking to Emily because she is my color guru, always. And about then I went back and I held up another piece of fabric to Vic that I hadn't shown Emily. And I was like, ooh, what about this one? No, I'm just going to use this. And I had told her originally that I needed her to help me decide. And before she responded, I had already decided. So she's like, I'm glad I could help you with that choice. But I'm going to do it with because it fits with the modeling going up and down instead of left to right, vertical instead of horizontal. And the colors just pop on this, and it was the perfect size, and I still can get 2 more pieces out of that fabric, 2 more scrap pieces, actually pretty moderate sized pieces of fabric. So I'm excited that I was able to use up some scraps that I normally wouldn't have used and joining on some sales. Who am I kidding? So like I said, this one we're starting the 6th. If you want to jump in with us, go ahead and jump in with us. If you want to jump in on the Saltbox neighborhood, we started today, but you can jump in at any time. It's no formal rules. You just stitch what you want to stitch, and if it gives you an excuse to start, use me as your excuse to start. I use other people as my excuse to start. Guys, that is it for this video. I have nothing else to show you. I'll have the new starts on my next video. Probably some more haul. And I don't know if I'll have a finish or anything. I'm trying to get some finishes. I think I'm not going to do the no new starts in 2021 because I know that as soon as I tell myself that, I'll want to start everything. Instead, I think I'm going to make the rule that I have to finish one before I can start one. We'll see if I stick with that, because I do. But I've gotten more finishes. I think I've got like 9 finishes this year already, even with all my starts. And I don't think I got that many in 2019. So I'm making some positives, right? Guys, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Take care and happy stitching.